U.S. Supreme Court has struck down President Donald Trump's sweeping emergency tariffs, and the president is calling the decision a disgrace. On February 20th, 2026, in the case of Learning Resources, Inc. versus Trump, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled 6-3 that President Trump overstepped his authority. At the center of the fight, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, known as IEEPA. The court said clearly, this law does not give a president the power to impose tariffs, and that power, taxing imports, belongs to Congress. The majority opinion, written by Chief Justice John Roberts, relied on what's known as the major questions doctrine. In simple terms, if a president takes an action with massive economic and political consequences, Congress must give clear, explicit permission. The court said that did not happen here. Notably, 2 Trump-appointed justices, Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett, sided with the majority, signaling bipartisan skepticism about expanding executive power. The tariffs in question were significant. They included global reciprocal duties ranging from 10% to as high as 34% on countries like China, as well as so-called fentanyl tariffs targeting Canada, Mexico, and China. These were imposed in April 2025 under the claim of national emergency, but the court said IEEPA allows regulating imports like quotas or embargoes, not taxing them. Big difference. President Trump responded quickly. At a White House breakfast with governors, he reportedly called the decision a disgrace. He argued the ruling undermines his ability to protect U.S. national security and reduce trade deficits. Just a day before the decision, during a visit to Georgia, he said he had been waiting forever for the court to rule and warned that without his tariff strategy, America could be, quote, going bankrupt instead of thriving. But here's where this gets even bigger. The ruling opens the door to massive refunds. Estimates suggest more than $175 billion in tariff revenue could be returned to importers. That money was collected since April 2025. Major companies have already filed lawsuits seeking repayment. And while the Treasury has hundreds of billions in cash on hand, the process could take months, even more than a year. Importantly, not all tariffs are affected. Measures imposed under Section 232, like steel and aluminum duties, remain in place. This decision applies only to tariffs imposed under IEEPA. And President Trump is not backing down. He says he has a backup plan, possibly using Section 301 of the Trade Act or Section 232, both of which have been used in the past to justify trade actions. So while this is a legal setback, it may not be the end of the trade fight. Bottom line, the Supreme Court just delivered a major rebuke of presidential power in trade policy, reasserting that Congress, not the White House, controls taxation. But with billions at stake, a polarized court, and a president promising new action, the battle over America's trade strategy is far from over.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.